Okay, welcome to this really mini session for sciatica pain. So this probably won't feel great during your flare-up, but this is some practices you can do in between to start regulating that pain to help open up, release the hamstrings, which is usually causing a lot of pain and tension back there. What you're gonna need for this practice is a strap, a yoga strap. So if you don't have a strap, you can use like a tie or even a belt, something a little sturdier that you can stretch with. So first we're gonna begin laying on our backs. Really simply just getting grounded here. And take a moment, breathe deeply into the belly. And during any practice, any movement, if you need to grab a pillow, a blanket, scoot it under, whatever feels good. For some of us, it might feel good to put a blanket under our knees or a bolster or a pillow. Just grounding yourself. From wherever you are, gently open the eyes if they were closed. We're just going to do some quick pelvic tilt. So something very, very simple. As you inhale, you're going to gently lift the pelvic in the sense that the tailbone is going to come down to the earth and the pubic bone is going to come up, meaning that low back is going to glue itself down to the mat. Now, for all of us, we have different back shapes, different spinal things happening. So just play around with this, and then as you exhale, lift out. So very subtle movement here. And again, supporting the legs. If this feels too strenuous, put something underneath your knees to lift the hamstrings to avoid overstretching. So inhale to tuck in, exhale to release. Another thing you can envision is almost like a little marble, and you're drawing that marble towards the chest. So whatever you got to do for hands free, just draw that marble towards the chest, and then exhale, drawing it downward towards the feet. A couple more of those. Just get intact with what's happening here. The pelvic floor can give us a lot of cues when we become aware of what's happening, how it relates to the back, the hips, the legs, and so forth. Beautiful. From there, release. We're going to take our leg, bend both feet onto the mat. Oh, I hope my mic here is okay. Let me just tuck it in. That should work for now. And then, so both feet are planted. Again, if you need a blanket under here, some of us may need to lift, some of us, it might be okay. And then grab your right foot, so the right ankle, crossing it over onto your left thigh. Start to gently bring it into this reverse pigeon variation, or figure four, essentially. And you can also use that strap. So strap is on standby for each pose. Now, if this is too much with the foot, lift it, keep here for now. You can build your way up. But if this feels okay, we can draw a deeper stretch by bringing that left leg closer. So drawing that left knee towards us. Ensure that that right foot is gently flexed. So we're going to try for 5 full cycles of breath here. Close down the eyes to draw your awareness inward. And as you breathe, extend that breath. So as you inhale, not only just the belly rise, but the sides of the body rise, the inflate. And you'll feel the upper back. As you take that full inhale, rise, and as you exhale, everything releases. We'll take one more cycle here. And release if you have that prop. If you don't, gently lift that right foot off and just do some gentle windshield motions back and forth. So planting the feet and just swaying the knees from side to side. From here, we're going to switch sides. So right foot plants, left ankle comes up. Notice if it feels different on each side. So one variation, we might be able to draw that knee closer to us. On the other side, this might feel like more than enough. And so instead of pushing through it, especially if this is the first time practicing this class, you can build up. Just be where your body is right now. So again, option for that strap, or you can just use your hands to draw inward. So we're aiming for 5 cycles of full lengthy breaths here. We've already taken 1 or 2. Come back to that breath, close down the eyes. Try to lengthen and even control that exhale so we're not just letting everything out, especially if we are dealing with some additional tenderness. Focusing on the breath and drawing that breath into that space. One more cycle here. And start to slowly release again. If you have that strap, drop it to the side, drop the foot down. If you're just where you are, lift that left ankle off, plant those feet and windshield it out. So really gentle here. All right, we're gonna do some roll-ups. So this time you're gonna bring your feet down towards the mat. So there's a couple options here. If this feels too much, again, you can also put a block, you can put blankets, pillows, you can even just fold your mat if you just need that additional support. So again, those feet are scooted away from the bottom, and then we're gently lifting up. So kind of like your crunch per se, and roll down. You can keep the palms down, or you can simply just press them beside you, lay down onto the forearms. We're gonna do this 2 more times. So be very gentle with yourself, adjust your body how it is. We're just trying to find that strength and pick into where this pain is. As you come up, maybe you need to widen your legs. Maybe that gives some relief. Maybe that's too much. And last one coming up, drawing up, getting a little bit of core work in. Doesn't hurt, especially for that low back. And release. So moving any props that you've got. We're going to turn our legs around and find a tabletop position. So from tabletop, we will do some cat-cows, plant those hands down. Fingertips are nice and wide. So we're engaging with the mat, with the earth. And from here, just gentle lengthening. Inhale, chest rises as the belly drops. Exhale to round. Gaze comes between the thighs. Inhale, gently release up. Exhale, round. So follow your own natural rhythm here. And just continue on. And as you continue on, try to lengthen through the top of the crown and through the tailbone or the end of the spine. If you need to take a little bit of a wider stance, feel free. Now from here, walk the hands a little bit closer to the top of the mat. Draw those knees a little bit closer as well. So we'll still find this 90-degree tabletop position. We're going to push our right foot back. Now, if you do have a wall present, this is going to be great. If not, that's okay. You can try this free floating. But we're going to play with our foot flexed and our toes pointed. How it looks on a wall, I'm just using my couch here, is just stretching. Now, if this is too much, you can also drop it down to the floor and just rock. So very, very gentle movement here. But if you are in some tenderness, this won't feel so gentle now, will it? 2 more. Use your breath as you go forward in that inhale. And release. We're going to lift that left leg, push that back, foot is flexed. Play with point, flex. We can use a wall or couch or a chair. And if that doesn't work, for us, we can also use the ground. Now this will be, if we have really tight hamstrings, this could be very, very intense depending. So just really use your discretion. If you need to wiggle the foot closer, take 2 more. As you come forward again, make sure that inhale is lengthening forward. Beautiful. Exhale, we're gonna find a child's pose. So for those that suffer with some low back pain or sciatica in particular, this probably is gonna feel a lot. So this is where we're gonna take either a blanket, a pillow, maybe 2, a towel, and we can elevate the hips slightly. This is going to shorten the hamstring, so less stretch, and do as many as you need to. So even 3 or 4. And just walk down. Now, ideally, you want to keep the spine a little bit more neutral. If you bend down here, you go all the way down, you're going to feel a really strong stretch. So see how that feels going all the way down as the hips are elevated. But if you need more props, feel free to do that to neutralize the spine out. So whatever feels good here. We're going to take 5 full breaths in your variation. And if it feels good to go completely down to all the way to the mat without any props, that is your discretion as well. Close down the eyes or soften. Keep that breath nice and long. Take 1 more cycle of breath. Lengthen it, draw it to that awareness, that spot that needs your attention. And when you're ready, slowly start to release any props, bringing yourself back up off. Now, as we counter, just come on to seated. So if you do have some blankets or pillows, or you were just in regular, sit onto your feet just for a moment here. We're coming back to that breath. Slow it down slightly. If you can, elongate your exhale just even by 1 count. So maybe you count in for 4, you exhale for 5. Just really grounding the body. As we get into these shapes and you're dealing with some inflammation, the body can tense up everywhere else, right? It's a way of protecting. Keep that breath nice and long. Start to gently come back to the space. We'll remove those props. We're going to come back laying down onto the mat. So very, very simply, again, keeping this nice and short for you so you can come back to it. Yeah. Oh, geez. We'll lay all the way down. So grabbing that strap once again, we're going to bring that leg up to the sky, flex that foot, and then you're going to take that strap behind about, I would say, where the balls of the top of your foot is, just slightly under, so not quite the middle, right? And then the leg can be as straight or as bent as you need to. Other ways to support here is bringing a blanket under your back if you need it. This is not going to be fun, especially if you're dealing with intense sciatica pain. So stretch is one thing, pain is not what we're aiming for. So easing into it. one more cycle of breath here. Keep that breath nice and steady. And then exhale, you're going to gently draw that leg over to the right. Just slowly over to the right. Not all the way down. And then exhale, you're drawing it back to center. Draw it again to the right. Back to center. One more time. Drawing it over. Back to center, and then let's counter with a gentle left twist. So drop your right palm and leg is going over to the left slightly. Excuse me, Nero. People need to see. Come back to center. Release the strap, draw the foot down. Just notice how that feels. Maybe if you need to wiggle out a little bit more. Then draw that leg down. Left is going to come up to the sky. Same thing. Finding what feels good, where we can find a stretch, but we're not in detrimental pain here. Close down the eyes to draw that awareness inward. Try to soften the shoulders, soften the chest, and anywhere else that's tending to tense up. So one side might feel a little bit more tender, a little bit more alert, attentive, and sensitive. So use that breath to allow any additional stress to melt. Take one more cycle of breath. And then exhale, we're going to draw that leg over to the left slightly. So each side's going to feel different. Inhale to come back to center. Use the strap. Allow the weight to do the movement. Exhale back. Inhale deeply. Last time, drawing it over to the left. Exhale, come back to center. Start to gently release the strap. Put it aside. Again, opening up that hip. If it feels good, just notice how it feels. We're going to end with something very simple. Instead of a bridge, I'll make this maybe a series. If you'd like, comment below. We're going to go on to our tummies, making this a really simple ending for us. Now, for some of us, this may feel good. Some of us, again, it may not feel great. So using props to help you out here. If you need to lift the hips slightly, if you need to put more cushion under your belly, the idea is to still try to keep a little bit of a neutral spine. You're going to draw yourself down to the mat. Place your hands under your cheek for a little pillow, and then slide that left knee out and open. So knee is at a 90 degree, no further. It can even be closer. And that hip is drawn down towards the mat. We're externally rotating. And we're just allowing our body weight here to help us out. So if this doesn't feel great, especially on hard floors, you've got cushions you can use as well. There's 101 variations. The one thing I'm going to say is just always tune into your body. And if you want specific variations for specific poses, let me know. I could do a video on each pose. Come back to that breath. Allow the body to melt here. And gently exhale, start to come up, off with your cheek first. Draw your hands under your shoulders and then lift that hip, bringing it back. So first just bring it back so drawing your actual thigh down and then just bending the knee here to neutralize back out. And then we'll switch sides. Exhale, lower the belly, lower the chest, lower the cheek, and then draw that right knee over. And then you've got that 90 degree, no further. Foot is gently flexed. It might be a little bit closer, but we're allowing our hips to rest. We're allowing the body weight to hold us here, melt into the pose. And again, option for props. Maybe you need something under your knee. Maybe you need to draw that foot closer to you. Maybe it feels better going wider. I'm just trying to find some release, some comfort. We'll take one more cycle of breath here. Try to elongate that exhale. And slowly start to lift the cheeks, start to bring the hands under the shoulders to support you getting out of this pose. Draw that knee close to you, keep it at 90 degrees so it's bent. And just allow neutrality for just a cycle of breath. And then draw the foot down. Now you can end here with alligator pose. Crocodile pose. And just kind of have your own shavasana if you want to go lay on your back. I'll end the practice here, but let me know how this felt. Let me know what you're struggling with. If there's certain poses, something's not feeling right. And again, always use compassion with any practice, any movement, and take care of yourself.